in a way, I think a skill that you and I started to hone in on since we became entrepreneurs. It's something, to be honest, I still feel very uncomfortable sometimes, but I realize looking back on these past 8 years, I managed them just fine. So I built the stamina, I built some trust in me to do that. Now, with that said, a lot of people are out there looking for jobs or knowing they're just about to lose their jobs, but they haven't really picked up the skills, or they have forgotten how to make connections anymore, how to ask people for jobs and for help in general. And oftentimes we see these comments coming in, I want to pick your brain. They don't come in with a great plan. And sometimes we don't really have time to go into a conversation like that. So there are a lot of different themes and things happening. I don't know what you have experienced and what are some of the advice that you would give to people when they're in that situation to begin the outreach.
Yeah, there's a phrase a friend of mine used to use all the time that was ask for what you want, knowing the answer may be no. And saying that was the kind of the hallmark of an adult to adult relationship. I think that comes from transactional analysis theory from like back in the 70s. But it is true, because we don't want to, people will see through. We don't want to go out with a clever thing about just pick your brain or just do this or that. But we also have to be realistic. So I had someone contact me just recently who is a friend. But before it was a friend, it was an employee, someone that I met, worked with, then worked for me. We became friends through that process. Now they're doing something else. And they have moved during, different jobs that they've had, and now find themselves in a state, in a place, in a home they really want to be, but's a little farther away from the action where they used to be, like it was be right outside, Silicon Valley or right outside Manhattan. Now they're, a ways off. And the work that they were doing has kind of dried up, and they're looking for that next thing. So they're looking for a job, and they're looking for a job or work pretty quickly. That said, they also know I'm likely not hiring myself, because I don't really hire. I have people like you that I'll work with, that I'll hire to do work, but I don't have employees in my company. I didn't build the company that way. And so they're not going to come to me and say, great, I've got a job for you as the, manager of such and such. It's not going to happen. Nonetheless, they should be, and they were able to say, I'm looking for something. I don't know what you can do, or who you will know. I know that directly you don't have something for me, and this is not your responsibility, it's mine. But can I get a few minutes of your time to kind of tell you where I'm at, what I've done recently, and what I'm looking for, to see if it prompts something? I think that's a great conversation. It is asking for what you want, knowing the answer may be no. I might say, hey, I'm sorry, I'm too busy this week. Or I might have changed my personality and say, I'm sorry, I don't care about you. That hasn't happened. But, I'm going to tell you if I have the time to do it. I know what you're asking for, and it's really clear. And I think, honestly, one of the best answers you can get when you reach out for help is no, because that person's not going to be there to help you. You take them off your list of people that are going to help, and you move forward with others. But most people do respond to, yeah, I'd like to be able to help you. Let me see what I can do, when they know that you're not going to come to them saying, I've exhausted everything else. You're my only hope. What can you do for me? And then they're like, I can't do anything, So ask for what you want. Know the answer may be no. When you get a yes, tell them where they're at, but have laid out, I realize there's a limitation to what you can do, but I don't know what it is you can do. And in this case, I am introducing this individual to someone I just came across in business elsewhere, who I think actually could use someone exactly like them. And so hopefully that will work out. That may not have been the case other times, but it might be the case here. We'll see. So I to your question, I think you just need to get out there and be honest about where you're at, but also be honest about the limitations of what you think they can do, and say, I'm not looking for you to solve my problems. I'm just looking for you to take a little bit of time to hear where I'm at, and may have one more person around me who might hear something and pay attention, and it might connect and it might not. And that's okay. And if nothing comes of it, that's okay. And I appreciate your time. I think that's a perfectly legitimate request that most people respond to.